Hello, everybody. Welcome to Jane and I's first ever recorded video. We hope you enjoy it and that we don't have too many takes of this. So, first of all, Jane and I really wanted to say another huge thank you for all that you have done and all that you continue to offer in terms of your support to Bapt Care and Homestart during the pandemic and ongoing in what has been a very difficult time. We just think you guys are absolutely amazing. And we're so excited that in the coming weeks, we will be able to invite you back to face volunteer roles. Before you return, however, there are some things that have changed, as I'm sure you will be aware of, and some reminders we need to share with you. So we hope that by you guys watching this video, at the end, there'll be a few questions to answer so we can begin this important reintegration and it's a pretty carefully managed process of reintroducing you guys back into direct contact with your families.
Okay, so I get to talk about infection control and hygiene. Isn't that an exciting topic for all of you? We're all probably sanitised to the point of no return anyway at this point, but we also know that the government has continued on with requesting that we do the hand hygiene stuff, that we retain or stop touching our faces if we can do it, and many other directives around infection control, which obviously is still in place. But we are going to ask you, if you can, to take this just a few steps further, and I hope you're all going to understand why. So the first one is, if you haven't already, we need you to complete a hand hygiene video. That is on this site. You can find it under training where you found this video. Really important you do it. And when you've completed it, it'll send to us so we know that you've done that sign off. During your volunteer induction training, and when we introduce you, either Julie or I introduce you to your new families, we always talk about the importance of health and hygiene. You know that, and infection control. And as we're always both saying to you, if you've got something and you think it can be passed on, please keep it to yourself and get well, okay? This is really, really important now. So if you show any signs of anything, any gastro, any flu, anything you think could be potentially infectious, you don't visit your family. I know you wouldn't anyway, but please, this is really, really important at this time. We've got to be more aware and more vigilant around this. If you need to, you cancel visits. And also, if you go to visit your family and it becomes really obvious really quickly that somebody isn't well, it's okay for you to leave. You need to head off and just let them know that you're not able to catch up with them today. Blame us, blame Homestart. This is us telling you to do this, and let us know straight away. We'll then get in touch with the family just to check in. We'll also, as part of the reintegration, and you'll hear a bit more about this shortly, be introducing a personal protection kit. Sounds really formal, it's not. It's actually just a little plastic baggie. I thought we might have one today, but it'd be about this size. And in there will be hand sanitizer, which you're all very aware of. We always give out, we ask you to use. Some tissues, a few face masks and some gloves. Not all of those will be relevant for you to use, but we thought if you've got them, they're there. We're also asking if you can, and you have done this already, great, but if you haven't, if you could register for the COVID-19 app, that would be fantastic. It's not compulsory and it's not going to stop you from volunteering if you haven't done it. But just for this period in time, I think it's a really important something. So if you can, if you need support doing it, you've already done it, great. We will be checking in just to say, have you and could you? But it's just a preference. So don't worry if you can't do it or haven't got a compatible phone, that's okay. And also the final one on this little health and hygiene list is getting vaccinated for the flu. Few of you have been in already and done that with us as a group at the office. Some others have been doing it through their own GPs. We'll ask as well if you have done that, just to let us know. Again, it's not a must do, but it is a preference if you can. If you've not done it yet and want to, when you go to see your GP, you can get a certificate or a letter just saying you've had it done and let us have it. That would be amazing. And if there's any costs attached to that that you need support with, we're happy to pay for them. Okay?
All right, guys, so the process for restarting the visit. So Jane and I will be calling you, all of you, and we do need this to be at your pace. So if you're not ready, that's totally okay. That's absolutely okay to say that, and we want you to. If your response is yes, I'm ready, then we will issue you with that personal protection kit as Jane talked about. And so you may or may not need to use all of these items, and we will discuss this again with you guys individually. But the hand sanitizers and tissues are a must pre, during, and post visits as a minimum. So we'll also be speaking with your respective families. Some will probably, be excited to reconnect, but others may not quite be ready yet. So it will really be a three-way decision between Jane and I, you and the family about proceeding, and there'll be no expectation of reconnection unless all parties are ready. So, yes, so you'll need to read and sign off on a health assessment relating to COVID-19, which again we'll go through with you, and it'll just be those standard, have you been in contact with anyone travelling overseas in the last 14 days? Have you got any symptoms, etc. So your families will also have to read and sign off on one of these health assessments, which we'll undertake with them. So in summary, you'll need to have undertaken both the hand hygiene video and this video on My Impact, had your chat with the coordinator, Jane or I, and been issued with your personal protection kit, and then sign off on that health assessment paperwork. If you've had your flu vax and downloaded the COVID-19 app, great, that would be amazing. But again, as Jane said, those two things are not compulsory to volunteering with us.
Okay, so next bit is starting home visiting again, which is really exciting. But what we're going to ask you to do for every visit for the foreseeable future, and I suppose ongoing really, is you should go over these questions. Just do a little self-check before you go out to do that visit. The first and biggest question of that is, are you really ready for volunteering today? So going through it and saying, am I sure I'm well enough that I won't be passing on anything? Am I symptom-free really? Have I had a contact with anyone in the last few days that you know or are aware of might be a risk? Am I feeling emotionally okay to go out and do a visit today? And is there any other reason that I shouldn't do this at this time? If you answer yes to any of them, that's absolutely okay. You stay home, you give us a call, that's all right. We can just support you while you get back to a space where it is okay to visit again. So if you've done your self-check, all's good there, and you're ready to go off to see your parent, before you meet them, you must make sure that the very first thing you do before you get out your car or walk to the door or walk up to where you're meeting them, not the door, is use your hand sanitizer. You must take it with you. So be wearing something that you can put your hand sanitizer and your tissues as a minimum into pockets. Keep them with you all the time. You're then going to use your hand sanitizer a minimum of twice more during the visit. Once will be midway through, and the final one will be when you leave the family. But as we know and we're guided to do, if you cough or sneeze at any time or use a tissue, please make sure that you either hand wash if that's available, and you'll see the hand washing video on how to do that. I'm sure we're all knowing how to do it now really well, but as a minimum, you use the hand sanitizer. Please make sure that you get rid of the tissue as quickly as you can after you've used it. On arrival at a visit, you'll also need to check in with the parent about how they're going. Are they all okay? But if you see or hear anything while you're with them that indicates to you that they may not be well, again, as we said before, please blame us and head off. Give us a call and we'll check in with the family. It's just we don't want to be passing anything on. You may also be asked, and this will be an individual chat through that you'll have with myself or Julia, to wear a face mask or gloves. That will potentially be if a parent or a child has a health condition where wearing those becomes a priority at the moment. It won't be necessarily the norm, but then that you will be aware of once you've had this chat, and you'll know that you're going to be wearing them when you go for the visits before they start again, okay? But you've been issued with those in your kit. If you need more, you let us know. We'll have them for you at the office. The other thing to be really mindful of is that we are still going to be social distancing. And this is where it gets really complex, because we know that children don't really do social distancing well. And actually, we don't want them to necessarily do that. We want them to feel relaxed and happy to see you again. You may feel more comfortable, though, when you're in that situation, to be wearing gloves and a mask. If that's where you feel that's absolutely okay with us, you let us know. We let your family know. They're fully aware that's going to happen. And you may find the opposite from the family as well, that they may be aware that the children are going to want to do this and they may want you to wear those. So any of those things will be talked about when you have your chat with Julia or I. If all is well, all visits for this time in period in time are going to be out of home. I know some of you will be moaning it's cold and it's wet and it's miserable and being out of home is tough, but they can be in the mall. They can be at the marketplace. They could be over at Central Lansell. They could be in Strathvillage. It could be in a park if the weather's good enough. It could be in the library. They're reopening now. Could be in a cafe or in a play space. It could even be in the family's yard if it's a nice day, but we ask you not to be in the family's home. This is really that, you know, inside spaces, in particular in homes, are the ones where the highest risks still exist. So for now, I'm afraid that's what we're going to be asking you to do. The maximum time of the contact as well is an hour, not 2 hours. And I know that's going to be tough for some of you as well, because this will be your first catches up and you're going to be wanting to spend a lot of time with them. But, you know, going for a walk in a park and making it last an hour, particularly in winter, will probably be enough for everybody. As we increase contact and in-home visits, that will be revisited again with you once we know what the restrictions are going to look like. Okay?
Okay, so as far as training and peer support goes, for now we're going to stay online in the current period, but as and when restrictions are lifted, we will be looking forward to seeing you guys all face to face with, of course, safe social distancing and hygiene rules in place before we can recommence. As you guys know, you know, in terms of contact with Jane and I, we're sort of negotiating this on a one-on-one basis. We are allowed to now see you guys face to face, but if people would prefer to still catch up online or over the phone, that is completely fine, all good. We are now, though, in a space where we could meet you at a cafe or in the office, whatever's sort of going to work.
Okay. So finally, last little bit here. We just want to thank you all for your boundless energy and patience and cooperation in helping us to continue to offer support during what's been a really difficult time, but also now supporting us in getting you back out there again and reconnecting with your families. We hope that things will return to normal, whatever normal looks like, but we're also recognizing this could be a very long process. We will, as things change, keep you informed and up to date as and when anything occurs. Now, we're going to be in touch very soon, as you may know from this video, or you may have already had a chat with us for that individual discussion about returning. Again, no pressure. Please remember that. But the important thing now is at the end of this video, there's some questions to answer. It just shows that you've listened to the whole of the video. They're very simple questions. And you also need to do the same thing with the hand hygiene video. Without these two, definitely no home visiting, or no connection, should I say, not home visiting, slap hand, home visiting eventually. So thank you. Thank you for your patience. And
thanks, everybody.
See you soon. Bye.